Hey guys, welcome back to Trails and Trails Homestead. I'm Jacqueline. So I just wanted to sit down with you guys today and talk about pantry challenge prep. I know when I'm filming this, it's already like the third week of January. We've already been participating in the pantry challenge for the last 2.5 weeks, I would say. We had a late start at the beginning of the month just because we had like a lot of social events and dinners with friends and other things that we were going to. So if you're not familiar with the pantry challenge, Three Rivers Homestead on YouTube, she's on Instagram as well, Jessica, she's incredible. She has put on this pantry challenge for the last, I think, like 3 or 4 years now. And basically the rules are for 2 full months, January and February, at the beginning of a new year, you do a pantry challenge where you don't go to the grocery store and don't go buy anything and just eat from the food that you already have at home. With that being said, she doesn't put a lot of strict regulations on any of these rules. She wants you to do what's best for feeding your family, whether that be 2 people or 8 people. And you make your own goals and rules and restrictions for how you want your pantry challenge to go. So I just wanted to talk about how I kind of prepare for that. This is my 3rd year doing the pantry challenge in January and February. We did it last year and we were really strict about it. I basically didn't go to the store for anything. We did stock up pretty well on like meats and things prior. I didn't buy more than I normally would before the pantry challenge started, but I definitely stocked up in December on just things that we needed in general, extra meat and things like that. This year I did no stock up beforehand. So what I have is just what I have. I have a freezer full of some meats and some other things. Also, we eat vegetarian meals often as well, probably 2 or 3 times a week, in addition to meals with meat. So I have enough essentials to basically get us through. The year before when I did the pantry challenge, I think that I went to the store a couple of times just to get a few things here and there. But last year I was way more strict about it and came up with some pretty creative meals at home. So that's what I love about this pantry challenge, is that you can find meals and create dishes that you probably normally wouldn't otherwise, with just the ingredients you have at hand, and potentially turn it into a regular meal for your family. So I'm excited to see what we can do this year with what we have. To be 100% transparent, I feel that we have a little bit of an unfair advantage because I'm only feeding 2 people, 2 adults. Whereas some of you guys out there are feeding, 6, 8, 10 people, a bunch of kids, and that is absolutely amazing. I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how you guys afford grocery costs. Hopefully you're gardening and maybe even growing your own meat and some other things, and not having to purchase too much from the store or even just buying things in bulk. But feeding 2 people is definitely a lot easier. So we really don't need a ton of food to get us through. I have more than enough food to get us through for over 2 months, but we don't need a ton of food. I am not a breakfast eater. I don't like breakfast. Breakfast food is not my favorite kind of food. So we're not eating breakfast every day. I do keep eggs and sausage and other things for like breakfast foods. You can always, I can always whip up some biscuits or waffles or whatever. But that's not something we're eating every day. Also, I'm only cooking dinners probably 4 to 5 nights a week. We take leftovers for work. We both just work 2 days a week. So I'm not cooking dinner every single night. For lunches, if we're home, I like to eat lunch at home. I like to eat all of our meals at home. It's so much cheaper than going out. I prefer the food that I make over the food I can get at a restaurant. I also know every single ingredient that is in my food. So in December, when I'm thinking ahead to January and how we're gonna do our pantry challenge, if we want to do it again, what that's gonna look like for us, I just get some ideas together about like what kind of meals I'm gonna make, what I need to stock up on if I do want to do a stock up before. The whole point of it is to use what you have so you're not stocking up on a ton of things. And then also you're not having to buy a ton of stuff afterwards to restock. The goal is to save money on grocery runs and things like that. And with that being said, after we got through the pantry challenge last year, 2 full months of being really, really steady with it, I didn't have to stock up on a lot of things afterwards. We still have plenty of stuff. Like I said, I could go for probably 3 or 4 months with the food that's in my house and not have to buy more. This year, I'm going to show you my canning pantry and my freezer and stuff. You might be like, that food is not going to last you 3 or 4 months. And my freezer food may actually not, just because I didn't do a full stock up. We are investing in a deep freezer soon, and probably 1/4 of a cow and some farm fresh chicken. So we definitely would have more than 3 or 4 months then to get us through. But I just really like the challenge of seeing how far we can stretch meals and ingredients with the things that we already have on hand and what we can make out of those. So I'm going to take you to my freezer first, and then I'll take you downstairs to my canning pantry, my cantry, my basement, whatever you want to call it. That's where I keep all of my home canned goods, as well as some extra stock of maybe some store-bought items that I just don't want to store in my cabinet in the kitchen. Also, I just want to mention, for my rules for this year, I'm eating what we have, but I'm not restricting myself from going to the grocery store. I'm not going to go to the grocery store for full carts of things, but the main thing that I will go to the grocery store for this year during Pantry Challenge is for dairy/protein products. We have beans and meat and protein sources of that nature, but we've been trying to increase our protein intake for the last month or two because we just definitely don't eat enough on a daily basis. So I'm not huge into dairy. I don't like milk. The only time I buy milk is if we need it for a recipe. But I do want to buy some yogurt, and we've been really enjoying cottage cheese. We mix that into a lot of different things or eat it on the side with some of our lunches. Even breakfast, you can mix it into eggs and things for some extra added protein. So that is the one thing I'm going to allow myself to go to the grocery store and purchase is dairy or extra protein products. So let's get to the freezer. I'll show you that first, and then I'll briefly show you my kitchen pantry upstairs, which is just a cabinet, and then we'll go downstairs to the basement and I'll show you all of my canned goods. All right, so as you can see, like I said, you're gonna be like, that is not enough food for many, many months, but I'm gonna go through it all and show you what we have. So I mean, it's a good bit. So this top shelf, this is some extra canned veggies that I had canned with the black bean soup. We used a little extra to put in one of the soups, and we just have some left over. So instead of keeping it in the fridge and it potentially going bad before I used it, I stuck it in the freezer. Whenever you freeze your glass jars, make sure that you have some space in the jar, because when things freeze in a glass jar, they expand and your jars can break in the freezer. So we don't want that to happen. I have some extra shredded cheese that we bought and shredded ourselves. We have some Italian sausage. These are the just bare chicken patties. Sometimes we eat those. I have an extra frozen focaccia dough that I'm going to try to make from the freezer and see how that turns out. This stuff back here is smoothie ingredients. These are some greens. I think this is kale that I froze from the garden. We'll just throw that in. This is some frozen juice, some frozen berries. We still have some shrimp that needs to be used up, just some frozen shrimp, and just more cheese back there. This second shelf is the priority shelf. I want to eat through this stuff pretty much first before I eat through anything else. So we have some extra store-bought buns. These are like brat buns. I think I have a couple of hot dog buns left too. It's a challenge for me to try to make hamburger buns, hot dog buns, any sort of bread that you would normally buy from the store. I'm challenging myself to make those from scratch this year. So I think that might be one of the last times that I buy any sort of buns. So I'm not going to take everything out because it's kind of hard to get it back in. But I have some barbacoa. I had made that in a crock pot. Anything extra that I have in the crock pot, if we don't eat it, I just stick it in a freezer bag and we have it another time. This, we had pot roast the other night and had some leftover. We didn't eat it within a couple of days, so I tossed it in the freezer. These are our pizza doughs. If you watched that last video, you saw that we made a bunch of pizza doughs together. Some meatballs. Down here, I have a bison chili. I like to freeze soups in my super cubes. I make the perfect 1 cup portion sizes. I just thaw this out, put it in a bowl, take it to work or whatever. We have some ham here that I can just toss in the oven, heat up, and slice it up. This is another roast that I want to use up soon. We already had this beef roast before I bought some more my veggie broth bag. And then I have another one going. We'll probably make some veggie broth here together in the next I'll say maybe week or two, maybe 2 weeks. Just because I want to go ahead and get some of that stuff out of the freezer. Down here I have some breakfast sausage. We got a killer deal on some Jimmy Dean breakfast sausage at the grocery store back in the beginning of the month, I think it was. So we just separated it into portions that we would eat quickly and froze those. We have some chorizo here. What is that? Oh, this is some chicken wings that we got from Moink Box when we were ordering that last year. We don't really eat a lot of chicken, so this is probably going to just wait until the summer when we can grill it. I have some extra butter back there. We kind of buy our butter in bulk. If you hear that beeping, it's just because my freezer door is open. Down here is basically like our meat shelf, aside from this Trader Joe's vegetable fried rice that I had yesterday. Really good. Recommend. Most of these are roasts. So when I buy my chuck roasts or whatever for pot roast, I just get like a 2.5, 3 pound roast. We cut it into 1 to 1.5 pound sizes because a 3 pound roast is way too much for the 2 of us. So we cut it and then we put everything in these vacuum sealed bags. We have a NutriSaver vacuum sealer and we just vacuum seal it, put what it is, put the date, and the weight is on here too, 1.25 pounds. So we'll weigh everything out and get it portioned out for us. There's some chorizo down here. This is a pork tenderloin that I'll in the next few weeks. We have several packages of ground beef back here. Several packages of kielbasa. This is easy to buy in bulk and then just portion it out and vacuum seal it as well. And that's mostly that. Oh, here's some of those like red hot sausages down here. We've had these for a while because we usually just use those for like camping. So I don't know that we'll get to that until maybe the summer when we take it camping. Stuff this back in here. We love chorizo. We eat chorizo fairly often. Chorizo tacos, chorizo nachos. And this bottom drawer is usually kind of designated for like extra veggies and things. This is potatoes and green beans. It's basically just like 1 portion size left. I made a big batch of this in the crock pot, and what we didn't eat, we saved because we save everything. So nothing goes to waste. These, you're probably gonna laugh, they are in cube-sized portions. I don't know if you can see that really well through the plastic there. This is a whole bag. We had some Guinness beers left over from St. Patrick's Day. When I made like bangers and mash or whatever it was, I poured them into, again, my super cubes and just froze them. And now I just add them to, you know, roasts or things in the crock pot or whatever I'm making. This is just a great additive. I'll usually add like broth and then 1 or 2 of these. These are some kale stems from the kale from the garden in the summertime. There's only a little bit left. You may be like, why the heck do you save those? Again, Jessica at Three Rivers Homestead is so creative. She adds this to things like stir fry, and it is actually incredible. So that's why we have these, just to add to dishes. I have these are just some stir fry veggies in here, just a little bit left. I should probably put those on top so we use those up. These are some extra baked beans that we didn't eat with a meal at one time. These are some rutabagas left from the garden. This is our last pack. We love these. I can't wait to grow more. And this is some leftover zucchini from the garden as well. So some things like the rutabaga, I did roast before I put it in the freezer. The zucchini, I don't think I blanched it. I think I just tossed it right in. Some vegetables I'll blanch first before I freeze them. And others I've had success with not doing that. Okay, real quick here, just in the freezer door. And then we'll move on to the pantry. I have some extra frozen butter here too. I have one of the Kerrygolds. Another sausage that we bought in a normal size portion. I'll just leave it that way. Some Italian sausage. This is some tomato paste that we froze together that we didn't use for, I think it was our sloppy joe sauce or something. This is our favorite cheese for sourdough bread. This roasted red pepper and cracked peppercorn cheddar Gruyere. We love this one. When I make my jalapeno cheddar loaves, sometimes I'll add that. Sometimes I just add regular cheddar, but this is our favorite one. We just take it out, grate it up, and put it into our bread. It's absolutely delicious. This is some of the sloppy joe sauce. We just had a little bit extra, so I just tossed it in the freezer. We'll use that for sloppy joes at some point. These have been in here for a while. You can see they have a lot of ice on them. This is just frozen pumpkin puree. I'll decide if I want to keep that or not since it has a bunch of ice on it. Ignore the airplane bottles in the freezer. These are some extra cayennes from the garden 2 years ago. I need to think about what I want to do with these. I have some hot pepper vinegar already in the cabinet. I don't know if I want to like dehydrate them and ground them up into red pepper or cayenne pepper seasoning or what I want to do with those, but we have like a bag and a quarter down here. As well as some jalapenos from the garden, so I need to figure out what I want to do with those. And then this is kind of a blob right now. It was frozen into the super cubes, tiny puck-sized ones, but this is jalapeno juice, like from the jarred pickled jalapenos. I also saved that and add it to roasts and other things in the crock pot, and it adds a delicious spicy flavor. Also, that was recommended by Three Rivers Homestead too. I use all of her tips and tricks, and they're all phenomenal. So we'll go ahead and be done with the freezer. Okay, I'll take you guys into just my kitchen cabinet pantry. I don't have like a pantry, closet pantry door. In my kitchen, I just have like one big corner cabinet and a really big corner Lazy Susan. And that is a complete mess right now. I'll have to reorganize it, so I'm not going to show that to you. But I'll kind of tell you what's in there. It's nothing super exciting. This also needs to be organized. It's kind of a mess, but I'll just go briefly through kind of what we have. In the corner, I keep just our regular, normal canned goods. We have some diced chilies. I have some condensed milk, some beans and stuff back there. I just bought these soups as a convenience item at one point. We really don't eat them that often. I think there's 2 or 3 in here, yeah. I tried to get some that were heavier on protein, like this chickpea and noodle. More of just a convenience item, or if I don't have anything prepared for work, then I can always toss a soup in my bag and go. So all kind of canned goods back here. You can see there's some beans kind of hiding back in the corner. We eat a lot of chickpeas. I like to make chickpea salads and other things. And then also back there is some coconut milk. If you don't have milk and you need a milk substitute, coconut milk is great. I've used it in pumpkin pies and other things before. I'm gonna take some of this stuff out for a second. Here we have some chia seeds, also a really good source of protein. I think for, let's see, 4 grams and 2 tablespoons. So that's quite a bit. You can add it to yogurt, oatmeal, whatever. We have some anchovies. I'm the only one that will eat these. My husband doesn't like them, but I like to put them in, you know, Caesar salads or on pizza sometimes or whatever. We have also the Wild Planet. I really like that brand of the albacore tuna. These I get from Costco. I think they come in a 6-pack. Really, really good tuna. My favorite kind for sure. Ignore the jelly beans in the back. Some of this stuff is just restock for the fridge. Some Kalamata olives, some almond butter. There's some granola back there, some sun-dried tomatoes. I love these. I will put them in pretty much anything. They're delicious. I have learned, don't put your sun-dried tomatoes in the fridge. This has been opened. It's fine, shelf stable, because it's in all that olive oil and it doesn't have to be refrigerated. If you do refrigerate this, the oil will like congeal and then it's just really weird to get them out. So if you keep them on the shelf, it stays good at room temperature and you don't have to worry about it. I like to buy these huge jars of jalapenos because we use a lot of pickled jalapenos. I also use this in my jalapeno cheddar sourdough. So we go through a lot of these. My husband brought this in from his camp stuff. Not really sure why. I don't eat that. We finally found the OG sriracha when we went to the store the other day to pick up a couple of things. If you eat sriracha, you know that this has been out of stock everywhere. There was like a nationwide shortage for a year and a half, and we've not been able to find it anywhere. So I was getting these weird like off-brand sorts of sriracha similar sauces that are not the same. So I'm so glad that we finally found another bottle. It's random that our grocery store just randomly happened to have like 17 bottles out of nowhere. So we got one of those. This sauce from Trader Joe's is my husband's favorite. This green dragon sauce, really good on like tacos or burritos, anything in a tortilla, nachos, whatever, delicious. We have a big thing of Tabasco back there. Chipotle peppers, I like to add those to our chorizo tacos, really good in that. Also some of the like soups and things that I put in the crock pot, I'll put chipotles in as well, delicious. So that I don't have to go into the basement pantry all the time, I just bring up some extra canned goods to put in the cabinet up here. So these are pickled Brussels, also known as frog balls. They're delicious, packed in a vinegar, really, really good. These are one of my favorites. We just have like a salami for, you know, charcuterie and or grill dinner. These are some squash pickles that I made in 2022. So I brought some of those up so we can eat those. Just a little container of granola. I'm going to sit that down there for work or whatever. This enchilada sauce, I really, really want to use this. I've had this for a while now and just never really think to make enchiladas, but this is on my list of something to use during the pantry challenge, so plan to use that soon. These, I was in Crested Butte and went to this really cute Rocky Mountain Cannery store there and picked up a couple of jars of things. This zesty pickled garlic, I haven't opened these yet, but I'm really excited to try them. We also had a salsa, I think 2 salsas that we got from there. We've already eaten those. I like these too because they put these cute little covers on them. So I have one with a sugar skull on it, and I think the other one has avocados on it, so I like to keep these as well. This is another thing that I've had in here for a really long time. Pumpkin chipotle roasting sauce. I feel like it's not really the season to use it, but also I was having trouble figuring out what to put it on. Just see if it says on here what it's good to pair it with. It doesn't. I think some kind of chicken dish. I don't know. If you guys have any ideas of how I can use this roasting sauce, let me know what your thoughts are, because I really don't know what to put it in, but I want to try to use that up during the pantry challenge too. Mango mango habanero hot sauce. This is a crowd pleaser, let me tell you. Everyone loves this stuff. I've sold some of this to friends, gifted it. It's so good. I think in the Ball canning book, it's like a mango habanero dipping sauce, and it does have a pretty thick texture. I don't know if you can tell, but it's pretty thick. It's not just like Texas Pete sauce. It's more of a thicker hot sauce. Delicious on like grilled chicken wings. So good. Absolute favorite. We'll definitely be eating that here soon on something. And then back here in the corner, these are some dehydrated onions. I have Welsh onions that grow in my yard freely, so I use them the same as green onions basically. I'll use the bulb part, like the white part, for anything that I need to add a bit of green onion to. And then also, you know, the stem, the green part as well. Just chop those up. But then there's an abundance out there, more than we can eat fresh. So I'll usually just cut them after a while and dehydrate them. These I left in full 2-3 inch pieces, so I can add those to like soups and things. But also I have some that's powdered, so I dehydrated a bunch and basically turned it into onion powder. So I'll show you those. They're in my spice cabinet, and yeah, they're delicious. Okay, so I also have some coconut water that I also get at Costco. I really like to add these to smoothies and stuff. I'm not a huge smoothie person. The texture of smoothies is kind of weird to me, but during the summer I went through this kick on smoothies. So these are really good to have for that, or to add to other drinks and whatnot. So I usually keep a couple of those in the cabinet here. Just on top, there's some like cherry tomatoes from the store. I don't really like cherry tomatoes from the store. They just taste completely different than garden tomatoes, but we have them. So again, it needs to be very much organized, but we have some crackers. I also want to try to make some sourdough discard crackers. So this box is unopened. When we're done with these crackers, or in the meantime, I'll probably try to make some of my own. I have an extra thing of flour, bread flour up here. I have tons of flour everywhere. I have some in my Lazy Susan. I have some here. I have some downstairs in the basement. Something that we use all the time. These are crackers as well. I've got some Annie's mac and cheese. You get this from Costco in bulk. I have many more boxes downstairs in the basement. These were an impulse purchase. We've had these before. I think that I actually bought them for a recipe that was on Pinterest that I was going to make for New Year's, and I ended up not making it. We've got some rice back here. These are my husband's favorite chocolates from Costco, the Sanders. They're so good. If you haven't had them, you should definitely pick one up next time you're at Costco. These are just some oatmeal, oats, granola. I've got some breadcrumbs back here, some more oats, apparently some more crackers, some popcorn, some more mac and cheese. These are tostadas. I was making some homemade Crunch Wrap Supremes. Those are so freaking good. If you've never made them at home, they're actually really easy. So good. So you should pick up some of those when you go to the store. After the Pantry Challenge, grab some of these. Some more breadcrumbs. Some whole wheat flour. That's what we used for our pizza dough, and I use it for some other things. I want to try to make like a whole wheat sourdough loaf, so I'll probably do that soon. We have just a little box here with some of the Black Forest organic gummy bears in it. I have a snack box over by the window because I found that if we don't pay attention to what snacks we have in the cabinet, they won't get eaten. So here is my garden harvest basket. So I take extra snacks from the basement or from here. Kind of just stock the basket for like the week or whatever with snacks, some meat sticks for like protein stuff, granola bars, fruit bars, whatever, for some healthy, quick choices. And we can just grab those and go, or put them in our bag for work or whatever. So that has really been working out. Emily incorporated that into our lives in the last like 2 months, maybe, month or two. And it's working out really, really well. So highly recommend if you don't eat your stuff, eat your snacks, set them out in the open, they will get eaten. So, all right. And then last thing in this one is some quinoa. We like to eat quinoa. I have some store-bought pasta. Want to make my own pasta too, so we may film a video on that together. Some elbows back there. And then another bag of quinoa that needs to be eaten. So some of these things I might pull to the front so that I can pay attention to what needs to be eaten first. We have some whey protein. I don't like this protein powder. I don't really like any protein powder. Again, the texture and stuff of what you're putting protein powder in is just kind of gross to me. So we've had this for a while. My husband eats it, but I don't. Some extra pasta, some taco shells. This is kind of just a catch-all shelf. Some lemon packets for drinks, some mustard seeds, some extra tortillas, some rice ramen noodles. I have some of those downstairs. I'll show you those. Just some dry beans, some of these like convenience pasta salads. Really, we just eat these in the summertime mostly. They're good for just like a quick side dish, some croutons. And that's basically it up here. There's really nothing that exciting in my fridge. It needs to be organized as well. Story of my life. Some creamer, some tea. Our fire cider is hiding back there. I have some milk because we were going to make some batch like waffles for the freezer or something. Some tortillas, some jarred things that need to be eaten up. A lot of jarred things. Some yogurt. Some onion, you know. I told you guys you're not supposed to save onion. I do it all the time. Some eggs. This is some homemade butter from a friend that we're still using up. Our meat and cheese drawer. Some other things down there. Spindrifts and just our veggie drawer. Some stuff that needs to be used up. And then, yeah, just condiments basically that I'm going to try to prioritize using as well. So I'm going to take you guys down to the basement, my canning pantry, and I'll show you what's down there. So my pantry is actually down in my crawl space. It's huge down here. So we just have this little Harry Potter door. And then we'll turn some lights on. I do have to climb down here every time, but it's really not a problem. It's so big. Once you get down here, it just has little stairs that go down, basically. So this is my extra stock of goods down here. I have some store-bought items, which we'll get to, and then I have my home canned items. This has been a highly requested video for you guys to see my canned goods, so we're going to do that now. I'll give you a full tour. I keep a thermometer down here because I like to see the temperature all the time. This one does have Bluetooth and like connects to your phone too, but I usually just take a peek at it down here. 58. It stays between 55 and 65 down here all the time. In the summer, it gets as high as 64, 65. In the winter, even when we had negative temperatures last week, it never got below 54, I think. So there's always just like a 10-degree variance of temperatures. I have some extra vinegar up there. I just haven't stored it yet. All right, so give you the full tour here. Some of this stuff I really need to prioritize using. It's ended in 2022. That was when I first started canning, was 2022, so nothing is any older than that. One second, let me get this cat out of here. Hey, you need to go upstairs. You're not supposed to be down here. I don't like for her to come down here because she tries to hide, and the other side of my crawl space just has like our water heater and pipes and all the other things that I don't want her to get under for me not to be able to get her out. So she's up there now. She's mad. Look. No. All right, back to the goods. So I have some apple chili jam. That was kind of a weird recipe that I tried. I don't love that. and I haven't really figured out what to use it on. I guess just bread and stuff, but that's not something we use often. We have some balsamic onion jam for like burgers and stuff. What are you doing? All right, I'm gonna have to do this fast. I keep having to stop because the cat keeps trying to come down here. So some curried tomato preserves. These are really good. They are sweet. They have sugar added to them, but I think in chilies you can even add them if you need to take the spice out of your chili. Most of these go like the whole way back. There may be some extra things in the back, but all the same things are in the front, so I'll be able to tell you what everything is. This is some dandelion jelly. It did not set. It's more of a syrup. So basically use it as like a honey. You can add it to teas and stuff. I made this in 2022 from dandelions, like actual dandelion flowers from like the yard. So there are recipes online on how to do that. I haven't experimented with a lot of jams and jellies yet, just because I know it can be a little bit difficult to get them to set correctly. So we haven't done much of that yet. Sorry, the lighting is kind of difficult down here, so if you can't see the consistency of everything great, I do apologize for that. This is homemade Dijon mustard that I made in 2022. This is really good. You can add it to pork chops or marinades, crock-pot dishes, whatever. I don't really use it much as a spreadable mustard, but you totally can. I mean, it just has to be shaken up. It's a little bit stronger than regular Dijon. I think it's because I used brown mustard seeds in it instead of yellow. And the flavor of those are just a little more bitter, but still good nonetheless. Here's that mango habanero hot sauce. This is one of our absolute favorites. This is a chipotle, see if you can see it, chipotle tomatillo salsa. I make this one often. So good. This is even good with chips, just as like a dipping salsa or on things. It doesn't really matter. These are all of our pizza sauces, like 2 full rows of that. Just kidding. I think there's 4 full rows of that. Yeah. Back here is our sloppy joe sauce that we canned up the other day. I think we have some extra, oh yeah, back here, just extra cans of sloppy joe sauce too. So all pizza sauce and sloppy joe sauce here. All right, back here we have some store-bought black beans and chickpeas, some other beans. I like to buy dry beans and can them up myself, but right now we have those. I got these in a big box from Costco. Here are some more of those squash pickles, some more of the frog balls. I need to pull all of those up. Here we have, this one has asparagus in it, but dilly beans, the pickled green beans. These are an absolute fave. We love these. We tend to eat them more in the summertime than in the winter, but we'll definitely eat them during the pantry challenge. These are some home canned banana peppers. These are from these are some home canned banana peppers from the garden, pepperoncinis. I have a few jars of those, several jars of those. Some with like more pepper in them, some a little more plain. So we'll use those up. Hard to see the labels on them. These are a green tomato hot pepper. So it's like a pickled green tomato. I had some extra green tomatoes that I used. There's onion, there's peppers, garlic, just like a pickled mixture of green tomatoes and peppers, and it is so, so, so good. I have just a can of pumpkin, some jam from the store, some extra seasonings. This is a pineapple salsa. I think I'm gonna take this upstairs so that we can go ahead and use it. Pineapple habanero sauce or salsa. I'll probably put this in the crock pot with something, so we'll take this upstairs so we can use it. Our pumpkin, I just realized that that's dented, so that's unfortunate. These are some home canned peaches. I have a few jars of those. They're just like a medium syrup. They're in honey and water, I believe it was. These are really, really good. I love having these peaches on the shelf. I only have a few jars because I just did one batch to see if we would like it, and we do. Also, you could add this to like, you'd have to make the filling, but you could add this to like a peach pie. Just make the filling, add these in, and that would be absolutely delicious. I might do that during the pantry challenge if I get around to making some pie crust. All right, and down here on the bottom shelf is mostly like store-bought condiments and things, but I do have some, ignore the lid, do what I say, not what I do. I do reuse lids for canning if they're not dented or messed up. So this one says salsa. It's definitely not. It's veggie broth. So I have 2 quarts left of veggie broth and 2 pints. So you can see we need to go ahead and make some more of those with our bag of veggie scraps in the freezer. So we'll do that soon. Some hot sauce. These are the vinegars that I really like from Costco. The raw apple cider vinegar, it's my favorite to use. This organic lemon juice you can add to anything. I like to just put it in water too. Some unfiltered raw honey. I was so excited to see this at Costco. The roasted red peppers. We love roasted red peppers, and these, I think they're a mixture of red and green. They have these at Costco, so excited. It came in a 2-pack. I have one upstairs in the fridge, and they've been delicious so far. We have also from Costco, honestly, everything down here is from Costco. If there's anything that I buy in bulk, that's where it comes from. Artichoke hearts, love these as well. We do a lot of like Greek dishes and pastas and things that I'll use artichoke for, so I love that they're already like quartered, halved, marinated. I don't have to deal with cooking an artichoke. These are just some pasta sauces. I told you I had more tuna down here. It comes in this 6-pack. Some extra olive oil, extra barbecue sauce, and then some more pasta sauce in the back. And then these, I just need to find a better spot for. I just tossed them down here for now. I could probably put them on the middle shelf or so, or maybe over here by the beans, but this is our black bean soup that we made together. Also need to take these out of the box, but just some cans of diced tomatoes. So that's the home canning pantry. And then, like I said, I just have some store-bought stuff down here too, just for storage. Some of our paper products down here, some extra chocolate soap, some of the vacuum sealer bags, some rice ramen, some pasta, coconut milk, coconut water, mac and cheese. I already showed you all those things upstairs. And then in here we have potatoes. I like to buy these russets in like the 10-pound bag because I can get a really good deal on them at our grocery store. So I just store them down here where it's dark and cool, and they last for quite a while in this crate with some good airflow. And then this is a genius idea my husband came up with. We just have all of our extra rims for our jars on a bungee cord here, you can see. So we just bring them down, grab some when we need them, and these are really, really great. So whenever I'm canning, I'll just grab a bunch and take them upstairs. I have a box here of some extras too, so I don't have to take them off every time if I don't want to. So yeah, this is my basement canning pantry. Oh, I was going to show you some of my dried goods. I have some like waters and extra jars and things over here, but in these Gamma Seal food grade buckets, these are the Gamma Seal lids, which are really, really nice. They're kind of pricey, but worth the investment, I think. This one has our like freeze-dried camp meals in it. So we have this big thing of like mountain houses. I think it's just mountain houses in here right now. We'll keep our freeze-dried camp meals in this bucket, and they're just airtight, sealed up. They don't really need to be airtight and sealed up, but since we store them down here, I just like for them to be sealed. We'll just take these out as we need them for camp meals. The last bucket down here in the corner, kind of dark in this corner, sorry. Some extra flour, some extra rice, extra oats, some black beans. I don't know why this is down here. I need to, actually, these are some like survival garden seeds. I'll only use these if I like need to. This is more of just kind of a prepper thing. I have other seeds that I'm going to use for the garden, but I like to have some extra things too. So I just kept them in here because it's, again, sealed and airtight. And that's pretty much it. One of my biggest goals with the Pantry Challenge is to get through a lot of our home canned goods and a lot of the like frozen vegetables in the freezer, things like that. Some of my dried herbs even before gardening season. If I have another big garden like I did 2 years ago, even last year was a little smaller, a little less productive, but still productive nonetheless. If I'm trying to preserve a lot of that food, I will not have anywhere to store it. You already saw the shelf that I have down in the pantry in the basement is already pretty full with my canned goods. So we need to eat through those, and I need to try not to make a whole lot more canned stuff right now until we get some of our garden produce. I can definitely make more space down there, and I can put more shelving down there. That's not a problem. But since some of that stuff is from 2022, I just want to go ahead and use some of it up. A lot of things that you see online will tell you home canned goods are only good for 18 months to some sources say 2 years. I know people that have been eating home canned goods for like 10, 15 years. So that stuff is not going to go bad. The only reason it would go bad is if there's a seal failure and something happens to like open. Otherwise, if it's sealed in the jar, it's kept in a cool, dark place, it'll be good for a really, really long time. So I'm not worried about getting to it in a certain number of, months or years or anything. But I just do want to use up the stuff that I've already canned before I make more. So I know that was a ton of talking, going through my food inventory and showing you everything that I have. I forgot to tell you too, in my Lazy Susan down there in the corner, basically just like olive oils, other types of oils, baking supplies, some of my flour, sugar, salt, things like that are down there. Cacao powder, and I don't think there's really much else, mostly just like baking ingredients and things like that. And my spice cabinet is pretty full of like the normal types of spices, but also have a lot of other like dehydrated kale powder, other greens that I turned into powder, and dried herbs from the garden, because at the end of the season, whatever I have left, I just try to dehydrate it or do whatever I can with it to preserve it. I told you I was going to show you guys my green onion powder, and this is it. The flavor is a little more herby maybe than regular onion powder, but I really like to add this to soups, stews, crock-pot meals, pretty much anything. It's absolutely delicious. So that's it for our Pantry Challenge prep and pantry tour. You guys have really been wanting a pantry tour, especially you guys that know that I do a lot of canning and stuff. So that's that. Goal of the Pantry Challenge is kind of whatever you want it to be. So is it like saving money on groceries? That's a huge goal for us, just because I think we spend a lot of money on food sometimes without really paying attention to what we're spending. So now we can really pay attention to what we're eating and how much less we're spending on groceries. Or is it to make food from scratch, make healthy meals from the ingredients that you have, challenge yourself with making new dishes. I think there's lots of things to be learned from doing a pantry challenge, even if you do it for like a week or for a month. It doesn't have to be the full 2 months. Or could you go longer? Could you do it for 3 months or 6 months if you have like a really big stock of things? I think it's up to you to decide what you want out of a pantry challenge. The rules are really yours to create, so no one's going to judge you for how you're running your pantry challenge for your family. I did want to say too, our intention with this is to just eat all of our meals at home, but I don't sacrifice on like outings and dinners, lunches, whatever, coffee with friends. I do prioritize my friendships and like social gatherings. So, you know, if I had planned to cook at home for dinner all week, but our friends want to go get tacos, then we're going to go get tacos with our friends. So I just want you to know it doesn't have to be very, very restricting and more stressful than what it's worth. If you make it a point to not have any like social dinners, then that's fine. But that's just something that we decided is important to us during a pantry challenge. So if the opportunity ever comes up for food or drinks with friends, then we do go participate in those things. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a little long-winded. I'm going to edit it and see how short I can make it, but I hope that you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below what your plans are for the pantry challenge. I know it's a little late. Like I said, it's January 20th today. You want to do this, you know, in the spring or in the summer or next winter, or if you want to start today, it doesn't really matter. If you have plans for a pantry challenge, let me know what your plans are, how long you think you could go feeding your family with what you have, maybe even what restrictions you're setting for yourself. I'd love to hear them. So let me know in the comments below. So thankful for you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!